The following is a presentation of ABC Sports. Join us beginning Tuesday night for our exclusive coverage when the world comes to America for the 1980 Winter Olympics.
All drag racing superstars are here on the final day of the Winternational drag races at Pomona, California, including funny car favorite Don Purdom, who heads for the line with comeback in his eyes after a poor season last year. Waiting to go, the green, and they're off. But 2,200 bulky horsepower sends him almost into the fence. And to use drag racing parlance, Purdom is put on the trailer and will have to wait for another day to make the final. And another former world champion, Shirley Muldowney, takes on Dave Nhra in her quest for renewed supremacy in a man's world. Waiting for the go. Down the line, Nhra bobbles, and Shirley makes the semifinals. We'll see her there in this year's first major drag race, the Winternationals from Pomona, California. And we'll see it all today on ABC's Wide World of Sports. For more, 50 miles east of Los Angeles is the largest county fairgrounds in the country. But for 5 days in February, it's Mecca for drag racing fans. 60,000 strong, they come to the Winternational Drag. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Economacki. Behind the main grandstands here at Pomona, they reflect one of the major points of interest that drag racing holds for spectators. For only in drag racing can a fan get up whenever he wants, walk out of the stands and into the pit area. In today's case, a 200-acre one that amounts to an exotic car show and an automotive bazaar. And once in the vast pit and staging area, the fan can eyeball the competing cars, the crews, the drivers, the girls, have a beer, get an autograph, think about perhaps buying a car. For it is this openness that has helped make drag racing one of the most popular forms of motorsports in the country, with an annual spectator turnout of 5 million. And they're all here for the 20th anniversary running of the National Hot Rod Association's Winternationals, with $410,000 in prizes at stake and over 600 entrants seeking fame and glory as they try to make time stand still. Of the many categories and classes in drag racing, there are 3 that command the most interest. Top Fuel, the most exotic of the dragsters, alcohol burning, supercharged, 2,200 horsepower, down the quarter mile and faster than 6 seconds, topping out at 250 miles an hour. Next in line is the funny car, perhaps the most dangerous of all forms of drag racing, where the driver sits inside a plastic body, the engine in front of him. If it blows up, he's in serious trouble. Not quite as fast as the Top Fueler. And then, closest to what one might find in the family garage is the Pro Stocker here. Surprisingly enough, the most expensive of all 3. Some of these cost as much as $60,000 to field. The cheapest one of the 3, $40,000. And attention now shifts to the starting line for the quarterfinals in funny cars, pitting Kenny Bernstein of Louisiana in the far lane, Ron Harris of Pennsylvania on the near side, as they come up in the staging area to toe the line. 2,200 horsepower under the hoods of these plastic body cars. There's the staging lights. It goes from yellow to green. There's no warning. Alertness and the start is the key to success in drag racing, many will tell you. And they're off. Bernstein in the far side takes, and Harris's car explodes. His windshield is broken. His supercharger went off. Bernstein goes on to win. A tough break for the Pennsylvanian. Let's have another look. Here he comes down the line. There's the flame. The supercharger goes way up. These cars are built for safety, and so is the gear the drivers wear. We suspect he's okay, but we'll be back in 1 minute to check.
No experience, no job. I could do that job, but who'd give me the chance?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience.
We give it.
You won't read it in a book.
You live it.
Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place. It's a great place to start.
Hey, Vic Sinex long acting's amazing.
Lasted you through the days plowing.
More than that. Got me breathing more like my old self again.
Vic Sinex long-acting nasal spray not only lasts up to 10 hours, but clinical tests show it's so effective it can have you breathing like your old self again.
Amazing.
Sinex lasted you through the long haul.
Oh, more than that. Got me breathing more like my old self again.
Vic Sinex is long-acting. More than that, it can have you breathing like your old self again.
Tomorrow, the superstars. Football greats tackle the obstacles. Richard Todd, Tony Dorsett, Joe Theismann, John Stallworth, Vince Ferragamo, and more. Then on ABC's International Boxing, the tough U.S. team battles Cuba in blockbuster amateur action. And on ABC's Wide World of Sports, boxing continues. Cuba's Olympic gold medalist Teofilo Stevenson fights America's heavyweight Jimmy Clark. Plus, Minnesota Fats and Willie Mosconi team up with the best in a pool showdown. And America's greatest hopes for Olympic gold sparkle tomorrow.
We spoke earlier of the dangers of funny car racing, and that spectacular explosion of Roy Harris's car bears it out. The car is back in the pits now. Let's have a look at the damage. Between this and the engine itself was a supercharger before a 150-mile-an-hour backfire we saw going down the track. Now let's take a look at what a full-size supercharger looks like. Here's one here. The bottom part weighs 70 pounds. After the explosion, all that was left on this car was this part of the supercharger. From here forward, gone like shrapnel from a hand grenade down the drag strip. Now let's have a word with the driver, Roy Harris, a 15-year veteran. Roy, that ever happened to you before?
No, that's the first time we ever had a blower explosion.
What was it like at the wheel when it went off?
Well, it was a loud explosion, and you know, I knew it was very disappointing.
What about yourself? Did any of the pieces get to you?
No, everything stayed outside of the car. It just blows it up and away.
Okay, let's take a look at the windshield and hood area where the parts exploded. A dramatic testimony to the violence of the explosion in funny car racing. And a testimony to the safety. Look at that supercharger up in the air, bouncing down and braking on the track. A lucky man, Roy Harris. And now it's more quarterfinal funny car action with Kosti Ivanov, a Bulgarian refugee who lives in Boston, against Gordy Bonin, a Canadian. Ivanov's car, the Boston Shaker. Bonin's machine, the Pacemaker, as they wait for the signal to fly. Up go the noses and down the track they go. It's a close race with Ivanov slightly ahead of Bonin, and Ivanov wins it at 234.98 miles an hour, but Bonin's car is not slowing down. The parachute hasn't opened, and he's headed for the fence. He's going towards Riverside. He's still moving through the snake fence and up against the outside fence. Bonin appears okay, comes out of the car, a lucky man, and his parachute, for one reason or another, failed to open. Here it is again. Remember now, Ivanov is winning at 234.98 miles an hour, Bonin going about the same speed. The normal brakes won't stop the car going that fast. He throws it sideways, it goes through the netting and slams to a final stop against the fairground's outer fence. There it is. Our crew is down at the finish line with him.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What happened? What
Well, the parachute just failed to come out and got bouncing down here and went through the safety net. Slid her sideways into the chain link fence to get us stopped.
Yeah.
One of those deals where if the parachute, it's my own fault for not getting the parachute in properly, apparently.
Did you do much damage to your car, or?
Yeah, extensive. I mean, if we'd have won, we couldn't get it ready for next round, no way.
Tough break for the Canadian. It's not an animal in a cage in a zoo, but it's Kenny Bernstein coming back to drag racing. He goes against Dale Pulde. Bernstein was a racer several years ago, took a lot of time off to run a chain of restaurants in Texas, while Pulde, a youngster from Van Nuys, California, admits to getting his drag racing start midnight riding on Van Nuys Boulevard. It's Pulde in the far lane, Bernstein in the near lane. As they come up, that's Buster Couch, the man with the soundproof ears, waiting to send them on their way. Waiting for the lights to flash. And off they go, and Pulde takes a quick lead, but bobbles, and Bernstein gets sideways, swerves, hits the fence, tears the right side off his car. Pulde slows way down, and Bernstein crosses the line first. What a dramatic day of drag racing we're having here at Pomona. It's unbelievable. Something happens in almost every round, and Bernstein cannot possibly make the finals with his car in that shape. Pulde coasts across behind him. Let's take another look. They're saying now that Pulde is the winner. All right, here they are. Pulde gets off, bobbles, and then Bernstein's car swerves. He crosses the line. That's an automatic disqualification. Hits the fence, tears the fiberwork off the side of his car, opens his parachute. We'll be back in 1 minute to talk with this ex-restaurateur.
In your windshield is an invisible chemical called polyvinylbutyrol. This chemical, made by Monsanto, could save your life in an accident.
No chemical is totally safe all the time, everywhere.
But to make driving safer, we need chemicals like polyvinyl butyrol. That's why every new car sold in America has a laminated safety glass windshield. Without chemicals, life itself would be impossible.
Weekends were made for Michelob.
It's for real.
Well, that calls for something special.
Hey, Chico! Yeah. Michelob all around.
Make your own weekend a little more special with a smooth and mellow taste of Michelob.
Michelob? What's the occasion? I've met the woman.
Again? Weekends were made for Michelob.
Yeah.
Hey, you're sold out of Gillette Track 2.
Delivery's coming any second. But why should a busy man like you have to wait when this razor will do?
Gillette Track 2 shaves me closer and smoother than that. I'll wait.
Life is too short to wait. These will fit your Track 2 handle.
I know what I'm getting with Track 2 twin blades, but those, I'll wait. For Gillette Track 2.
Yeah, but
To guys who use Gillette Track 2, no other blade will do.
Track 2? We'll wait.
Despite the violence and speed of the Bernstein accident, the damage to his car was confined primarily to the fiberglass bodywork that shrouds this alcohol-burning car. He was a lucky man. Here he is now.
Now it's probably too good.
Kenny, it was wild to watch. What caused it?
Well, the first thing that happened was the car shook violently, very hard. The tires shook, and when that happens, it's difficult to see what's going on inside the cockpit. And there's like 2 or 3 variations of shake. Most of the time they shake, and it's just enough you can go ahead and drive through it, and it doesn't bother you. But there's a violent shake, what I call violent, and that was a violent shake. The problem I did was I drove it a little too far in the shake, and she got a little out of control, and I should have probably lifted a little earlier, and that's the problem.
You hit the fence, but yet you kept going. Did you see Pulde on the other side, know where he was?
Well, that really wasn't a concern at the time. What I was trying to do was keep it off the guardrail. I saw the guardrail coming to me, and I thought if I just hit the throttle and it just bounced it right off the guardrail instead of going over. So I saw the guardrail coming, and I just hit the throttle, and I just a reaction, I guess, and it did. It put it right back out in the strip again, and then my foot got caught between the accelerator and down below, further down, and the throttle hung again open, and that wasn't intentional at all, but I was just kind of cramped up in there. But that's what took place.
Well, you won the race, but then you were disqualified for crossing the line. Had the victory stood, would you have been able to make the final in the time allowed?
Well, it's very hard to say. We hurt her up pretty good, but a lot of fiberglass can be fixed in a hurry, and we could have got some pieces together, and you never know. You can patch these things pretty quick. I know we would have tried.
Okay, better luck next time, Kenny.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There have been a succession of disappointments here at Pomona. Don Purdum not making it, Kenny Bernstein out. But Don Big Daddy Garlett did not go fast enough to make the 16 finalists. And the drag racing pioneer from Sefner, Florida, has taken his new machine on home. A big disappointment to the many fans here. And now we move to the Top Fuel semifinals with Connie Kalitta coming up against Richie Tharp. Kalitta is part of a big story here. He's the former crew chief for Shirley Muldowney. Came back to racing after they split up. Tharp, incidentally, is a gold dealer, and of course he's in the news now with gold being so much on the financial pages. They're staged and they're ready. Top Fuel semifinals. Will Kalitta go to the final, or will Tharp go? Part of a big story. Shirley Muldowney is in the other semifinal, and these 2 former partners may very well meet. 4 lights go, and off they are. Tharp swerves a little bit, and Kalitta takes the bounty hunter down the line. He crosses at 238.09 miles an hour, under 6 seconds with a 5.989 clocking. And so Shirley Muldowney's former crew chief makes it to the finals. And coming to the line now is the first lady of drag racing, Shirley Muldowney herself. Watch those rear tires grow as she does the burnout. This is necessary to clean the tires of any gravel and sand they may have picked up coming to the line. There they are. It's a great dramatic aside to the sport of drag racing. Her rival will be John Kimball, one of the top black drivers in racing. We asked him beforehand if he could make the finals.
Well, the car has good potential, and it's really in A1 shape, and I think I have a good shot at it.
How about the driver? Is he in A1 shape?
Oh, the driver's, I think he's in A1 shape.
Shirley Muldowney's car is brought back to the line. Shirley, who was the world champion in 1977, has not won since then. Her former crew chief, Connie Kalitta, was more than a man with the wrenches to Shirley. We talked with Shirley earlier today. Shirley, you've overcome being a gal. You're one of the guys, you run with them, you win a lot of races. So what's drag racing now for you that you've really been accepted?
It's my lifestyle. It's fun. It's the one thing I love. I just hope that I can continue to do it as long as possible.
If you make it to the finals, who would you like to go up against?
Kalitta, show them the way it's done.
Well, that romance is obviously over, and it was that breakup is what put Kalitta back into the driver's seat. Here's John Kimball, a man who was badly hurt last year, and who last fall turned his car over to Richie Tharp in a generous gesture to race in the finals. Shirley Muldowney on the near side, Kimball on the far side. In the semifinals for the top fuels to determine the makeup of the final round, and off they go. And Kimball burns rubber, and Shirley goes down the line to win at 240.61 miles an hour, 5.845 seconds, her 7th straight pass below 6 seconds. A remarkable move, setting up the classic final match. Shirley Muldowney against her former beau, Connie Kalitta. Everybody's talking about it. We'll be back for that dream race and the funny car finals as well, along with a look at some of the supporting categories in drag racing. But now, let's go to Al Michaels for more speed, but of a different variety. We're back at the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds in Pomona, California, 1 hour east of Los Angeles, for the 20th annual running of the Winternational drag races. $410,000 in posted awards has lured the top drag racers in the country here, and many fans, a record 61,500, have turned out. In the 4 days leading up to this final day, many exciting incidents have taken place. Here, on the right, Billy Meyer, one of the nation's top funny car drivers, had his trouble. His car exploded. Parts went every which way. But the youngster, only 25 years old, who's been dragging 10 years, got out, fixed his car, and came back to race later. Then Brian Raines had his problems as his engine exploded, sending parts flying every which way. And then Howard Hayden, a dramatic explosion, escaped injury when his top fueler had trouble. So it's been expensive for those who have had to make repairs, but for those who buy fuel, the costs are skyrocketing. Nitro. Where men race cars, this means speed. Fuel is heat and heat is horsepower is an old racing axiom. I'm standing in front of a 55-gallon drum of nitromethane racing fuel, the kind the top fuelers and funny car drivers use. To get down the strip takes between 5 and 7 gallons, and at $22.50 a gallon, that's over $150. Extend that into the mile, and it becomes over $500 for 1 mile of drag racing, a mighty expensive pastime. But it's more than a pastime for Dale Pulde of Van Nuys, California, and Ron Colson of Addison, Illinois, as they come to the line for the finals in the funny car competition. They've made it through all the preliminaries. Between $10,000 and $12,000 at stake in this one. Pulde, the youngster from Van Nuys, California, who we said got his start street racing. Colson, a rather scientific type from Illinois, has everything figured out. Both of these cars have had a little bit of trouble in the preliminaries, but they have been repaired. It looks like two Darth Vaders going at it as they come to the line, critically moving to the position. The two top lights showing their pre-stage, and when the two yellow lights light below that, the fuse will be lit. One in, the other, and they're off. Up, and Colson has trouble. He crosses the line, and Pulde takes it down to win at 6.258 seconds. A tough break, but he'll take it any way he can get it. His speed, 238.72 miles an hour, as he heads for the welcoming crew at the end of the run. Tough break for Colson. Let's see what happened here. Apparently the car mishandled, and he crossed that center line, and that's an automatic disqualification. A long way to come for that type of finish. So Dale Pulde, the Van Nuys, California boy, gets the big welcome from the crew. Let's listen. There's nothing like winning, and that's what's on the mind of Miss Shirley Muldowney and Mr. Connie Kalitta as they prep for the matchup of the meet. And we'll be back for that.
Introducing the 1980 Mercury Capri RS and Zephyr Z7. Two high-mileage Mercuries that'll make heads turn.
Come on in. He's on down the road.
With better base engine mileage ratings and a total of 5 Datsun and Toyota models, Capri RS, sexy European look. Zephyr Z7, solid economy with style, both with optional turbocharged engines for even more driving fun.
He's on down the road.
To the sign of the cat.
People always say you talk funny, but when you talk about Natural Light beer, you make sense. To all my fans and fannies, I thank you. Natural Light does have a taste all its own, because there's nothing artificial in this beer. Just the finest natural ingredients, including lots of barley malt, for a fuller taste and a less filling beer. Look at it.
Taste Natural Light. The difference is what we put in and don't put in.
This is no laboratory light beer. This is Natural Light.
A big green football team, an endless yellow sea, a cherry pie, an orange sky, the bluest eyes you'll ever see. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's colors vivid and lifelike, and our special VIR2 circuit adjusts the color automatically.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Now for the moment of truth, the matchup between Shirley Muldowney and Connie Kalitta. Until a few seasons ago, racing partners and romantically attached. Then a bitter breakup. We talked to Connie.
Connie, everybody's talking about the finals. You know, they say old girlfriends are trouble, and if anybody knows Shirley's weak spots, you do. How do you rate her as a competitor?
She's excellent. She's excellent. She's a good driver, and Ronnie, her mechanic, you know, I spent a couple years with him, too. When we worked on Shirley's car, and he's excellent, too. That's a good piece of equipment over there to race against.
You gonna beat her?
We'll try.
And what did the female lead in this dramatic scenario have to say moments before the start?
You ready for him, are you, Shirley?
Sure, Chris. Not afraid of him one bit.
You asked for him earlier, and you got him now. What are you gonna do with him?
Put him away.
Put him away. She sounds a lot tougher than she looks. But no one will miss this one. Even the blasé pit people are coming to watch. Shirley and Connie, the Frankie and Johnny of drag racing. Everyone is ready for this one. Here she is in the near lane. No sponsor this year. She's paying her own bills. Connie Kalitta, a man who's essentially a mechanic, returning to drag racing at the wheel since the breakup with Shirley. The classic confrontation as they move to the line to stage their long, needle-nosed cars, 2,200 horsepower. Shirley has made it in a man's game. She's not considered a woman now. She's another competitor. Watch the lot. Stage. And off they go, and Kalitta gets the jump, but he swivels sideways. And it's Shirley! Shirley Muldowney wins it! Her first victory in over 2 years. She takes it at 5.940. Look at the glee, 247.25 miles an hour. Another straight pass under 6 seconds. And here, they come to the pits together. Usually, the loser and the winner are hundreds of yards apart. And Shirley gets out of the car. The victory area in drag racing is a lonely place. The crowds are way up the line. Let's listen to what is said.
Oh, what a wind-up to a great drag race. And a couple of old friends here at the end of the run. Shirley Muldowney, the winner, and Connie Kalitta, who gave her a great race. It's an emotional scene here. Turn around, Shirley, so we get a look at you here. You guys put on a great show. It was an important one for you, huh?
That was important for both of us.
I'm
really
sure it
was.
Yes.
I had a good teacher, Chris.
Really? Yeah. But you don't look happy, Shirley.
She is.
I'm happy.
Are you?
I'm happy.
Well, it's been a tender thing. You're friends for a long time. Her former crew chief and great pal, and Shirley Muldowney winning it. We expect a little more bubbly. Turn around. Let's get a look at you.
I'm just a little, I'm in shock.
Are you really?
Yeah, the
I
guys
guess that the woman has allowed some emotions that men don't have, huh?
Yeah, I think.
You drove like
Connie,
a man, though.
Yeah. Like I said, I had a good teacher.
Okay, here come the gang.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll be all right.
Okie dokie.
I'll be all right.
All the best to you.
Thanks, Chris.
And there'll be those that say that Shirley Muldowney perhaps didn't want to win today. This is Chris Economacki saying so long from Pomona. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. More people fly United to Hawaii than any other airline.
We hope you've enjoyed our day and be with us at 2 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow for the Superstars, followed by the U.S. versus Cuba in amateur boxing, followed by ABC's Wide World of Sports with special performances by American national figure skating champions, including Linda Fratiani. Be with us.
Saturday on the Love Boat. Go for